Welcome to Woman of Wilson, brought to you by the Wilson Post and Main Street Media Television. We are also presented by our sponsor, Vanderbilt Wilson County, with a brand new trauma center and the fabulous team led by Dr. Andrew Hopper, Trauma Medical Director at Vanderbilt Wilson County. While every woman is a winner at Woman of Wilson, there is one peer-voted award at the end with special prizes from Beauty Boutique and from Sammy Bees, all located in Lebanon, Tennessee. The best of the best will get the best of the best. Thank you so much for watching. And now our CEO, teammate, and partner for Main Street Media, Ellen Gould.
Good morning. Thank you for joining in. My name is Ellen Gould. My husband and I are the owners of Main Street Media of Tennessee. On behalf of all of our employees, we are pleased to welcome you to the 8th annual 2022 Woman of Wilson celebration. I would like to thank Vanderbilt for being our host today. They have truly embraced Wilson County as a healthcare resource. We are so lucky that they have chosen to bring their wealth of knowledge and practice closer to home. Before we get started, I'd like to share a few words about our company, Main Street Media of Tennessee. We're a 9-year-old company and we publish 13 community newspapers in 10 Middle Tennessee counties, including the Wilson Post. We produce associated websites and social media pages, as well as niche magazines and emailed newsletters. People want the news from a credible source with ties in their community, a source that has vetted the information and asked the tough questions. We also know that people want to consume information in many different ways, so we have added a streaming channel to our lineup. Main Street Media TV is a free app that is available on Roku, Amazon Fire, and any place you stream. We're producing about 25 hours of original local content per week. Shows like Main Street Today, hosted by Devin O'Day, a midday lifestyle show about interesting people and places right here in Middle Tennessee, or our sports talk shows like Main Street Sports Today and the George Plaster Show that are on every day. People come to us to get the truth. I'm proud to say that every year, the Wilson Post and its sister papers get awards for strong journalism from the Tennessee Press Association. Our overriding focus is our content, local news. But underneath, there are a few other guiding philosophies. One is that we love to celebrate the communities in which we operate and to recognize achievers. That is why Woman of Wilson fits nicely into our mission. We love to share stories of women who are making a positive impact in the county. With all the bad news happening in our world, it's nice to have the opportunity to focus on positive things that are going on. As a weekly newspaper, the internet allows us to break news through our websites or on social media. As we have focused more and more on breaking news online and through social media, our numbers have skyrocketed. We generate about 2 million online page views a month, and that number continues to grow quickly. We also have more than 160,000 followers on our social media pages, company-wide. Think about how this has helped Woman of Wilson. Every Wednesday, we not only run the Women of Wilson column in the paper, but we also post it online and on Facebook. Without exception, that post is shared often and it reaches thousands of people. No question, the business model for online and print are different, but we strongly believe that digital and social media enhance our news brands. We want to be the leading source of news and information in our communities that we serve, and that takes a combination of print, digital, social, and the new media that we have introduced recently to do that. We want to be that source because we know that helps grow readership of the newspaper. We have bucked the trend in our industry as our company has increased the number of papers we print each year. We think our digital reach has helped with that. Okay, enough about us. Let's talk about why you all are here today, and that is to celebrate what you have done and continue to do in Wilson County. Dave and I have 8 children ourselves, and it's always inspiring to read how other women are able to balance work, family, and service to their community in their busy lives. So at this point, I'd like to turn the program over to Devin O'Day.
This Tucker's Crossroads gal, Katie Dillon, works as an agronomist for R.C. Owen Gallatin Redrawing and Storage Company and calls agriculture her true passion. She's an ag degree grad of Tennessee Tech and continued at TSU for another degree in biology and chemistry. Those studies continue at MTSU today, where she's finishing her last semester for yet another degree in plant and soil science. She serves as real estate agent with A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction and is the wife of pilot Miles Dillon. We reunited in Lebanon after we each graduated college, knowing it was meant to be. I liked his tractors and he liked my cows, so we decided to get married. We now have been married 4 years and have one son, Tucker, who is the biggest blessing and accomplishment in life for us both. They own and operate a purebred registered Dexter herd for the purpose of meat, cow, calf, and hopefully a 4-H FFA project for our son one day. They enjoy collecting antique tractors too. Mom to Avery and Connor, Kristen Scott has been a banker at Pinnacle Financial Partners for 14 years. As a Wilson County native, she's been an active member of the Journey Church since 2007 and names her sister, Amy Simsbrot, as one of her greatest life influencers, along with her mother and 2 grandmothers, Sonia Steele, Mary Jo Howell, and Carolyn Tarpley, with being her life lesson teachers. She also credits her chosen sisters at Pinnacle as rare friendships you don't often find. Typically, if you see one of us, you'll see us all. Barbara Bell has been a realtor with Crylike's Mount Juliet office since June of 2017, helping people find the home of their dreams. And as Director of Career Development with Middle Tennessee Crylike, their 20 monthly classes help new agents begin their careers. As a partner in Homes for Hero, she donates a portion of her commissions to Hero clients. That's active or retired police officers, firefighters, teachers, medical professionals, or members of the military. She and her husband of 17 years, Doug, have 2 children, Reed and Braden. They also have 3 rescue pups, Jax, Maggie, and Lucy. The woman she admires most is her mom, who she lost last July. She had so much to overcome, losing her father as a teen, having to quit school to work and support her 5 younger siblings, then marrying my dad, getting her GED and cosmetology license. Even after losing my dad 15 years ago, she stayed positive and showed us how to be a pillar of strength. Heather Tryon is a program director with Wilson County Court-appointed Special Advocates, supporting volunteers who work with children and the families they're appointed to serve. She started in 2016 as a volunteer. She's a social worker by training, but at that time was a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to serve the community in some way and use her professional skills to do so. Tryon came to Wilson County back in 2014 when her husband's job was transferred to Nashville. She and her husband Pete married back in 2008 after meeting on eHarmony. And later, with their 2 sons, the family wanted to settle in a community that felt like the right fit, and Wilson County was just the place to be. Tryon and her husband Pete married in October of 2008. Their family includes 2 sons, which keeps her busy with Scouts as den leader and activities coordinator. My mom spent her life serving others and honoring humanity in each and every person. That's why I admire her so much. I also find myself inspired by women who created significant change, like Dorothea Dixon, who in the 1800s improved care for the mentally ill, Jane Addams, founder of the Hull House, one of the pioneers of modern-day social work, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and Pearl S. Buck, who advocated for improved education and opportunities for people with intellectual disabilities. And civil rights activist Diane Nash, the hurdles they faced in the work they did are far larger than the ones that I run into every day, but their work is every day an inspiration to me. Colette Stoffel and her husband Michael met in Boulder, Colorado back in 1993. They're the owners of Visionary Design Group. He and I are the rare couple that have lived together and worked together since we met and still get along great. He's my best friend, business partner, and an amazing father to our son. I'm a lucky woman. They have many dogs. Their 16 rescued animals are Kiddo, Newt, Roscoe, Sunshine, Bingo, Charlie, Susie, Eddie, Dobby, Wheezy, BB, Turdy, Birdie, Whittle, Spooter, and Cheeto. Stoffel credited her self-motivation and faith with her success. I was up for a Rotary Scholarship as a senior in 1984, and they asked who the person that helped me to get where I was. The person was me. My parents were struggling financially and didn't really have a lot of extra time. When I graduated from high school, my parents and siblings were moving back to Colorado from Memphis, and I was due to start Memphis State. So at age 17, I found a room to rent in an older lady's house in Germantown for $150 a month and started Memphis State University. So other than my faith, I think I look inward for motivation and inspiration. I have an amazing relationship with my husband, and I think he keeps me grounded. I'm a bit of a dreamer. Maggie Vanderbilt and her best friend, Jessica Schaefer, turned Mommy Knowledge into a lifestyle blog and social media platform geared toward uplifting moms. On Instagram, they're known as Two Tall Moms. Motherhood's hard enough, but it's way better when we do it together. She's originally from Peachtree City, Georgia, just outside Atlanta, and her husband, they have 2 daughters, Mary Hyatt, 6, and Campbell, 3. They met their freshman year at Ole Miss and have been married for 10 years, and they attend church at Lebanon First United Methodist. Vanderbilt helps coach their daughter's soccer team for Wilson United. The woman she admires most is her mom, Sharon Campbell. She was an 8th grade Georgia history teacher for 30 years. She was a dance and cheerleading coach at Lovejoy Middle and High School. It's incredible to think of all the lives she touched during her years of teaching and coaching. She died in 2019 from breast cancer. Now that I'm in this season of motherhood, I would love to tell her more than ever that I understand all her sacrifices, support, and unconditional love that she always provided to me. I can only hope to be able to provide that to my girls. Callie Heatherly operates her own company, Callie Elise Events, as she also works for AZ Office Resource in sales or for West Business Interiors. But she also volunteers with an organization that is near to her heart, CASA. Heatherly's been an advocate with Wilson County Court-appointed special advocates for over a year, and her journey to help children started when she was a teen. I was called into the mission field, and I knew that my work would be in my backyard, being an advocate and voice for the littles who were in situations they didn't create themselves. She enjoys time with her rescued fur baby of 14 years, Cammie. Heatherly admitted it's difficult to narrow down a list of women who've inspired her. However, she started with her mom, Jackie. She's a pillar in the community. If you know her, you love her. She's one of a kind, and I'm blessed by the Lord that He gave her to me as a mom. Heather also credited her tribe of girlfriends who fill in the gaps when life hits hard, or laugh and celebrate when something big happens. Shay Tinsley has served as manager of the Suntan City in Lebanon for 2 years, a job she loves because she's met so many amazing people that have made every day fun and exciting. I look forward to going to work and talking to people. I've made some very good friends along the way. Now she's from Kansas City, Missouri, where she met her husband, Billy, who was a bass player for a band she hired to play at a restaurant she managed. Her 3 adult children still reside in Kansas, along with their 8 grandsons. I had a crush for sure. We ran into each other again 2 years later while he was playing an event, and we started dating that evening. A year later, I married my amazing man and best friend. She named her grandmother as a woman she greatly admires. She adopted me at age 5 and raised me with a good moral compass, along with a good work ethic, and to treat people with respect and kindness no matter how they treat you. I also admire the women I work with. They work hard to make sure each other succeeds. Jenny Shipp has been a kindergarten teacher for a decade. As the daughter of an educator, Ship said she grew up in her mom's classroom, so her choice was easy. But the actual work is not always easy. When she sees their faces light up, however, when they realize they read a word for the first time, it makes it all worth it, she says of her students at Sam Houston Elementary. She was raised in Alabama, graduated from Lamar County High School, and earned a degree in elementary ed from Freed-Hardeman, and took speech and language courses at the University of Alabama. She also does hair for special events and works for MHB Beauty. She's married to Taylor Ship of Lebanon. We moved here when we got married. He's such a hard worker, loves deer hunting and farming, and is the best daddy and husband I could ever imagine. The couple has 2 children, Montgomery and Trooper, and are members of College Hills Church of Christ. She named her mom, Becky Morton, as the woman she admires most because she's always been such a hard worker and has a servant's heart. She wants to be behind the scenes, never in the spotlight. She would do anything for me or anyone she meets that needs help. I'm very blessed and grateful to have her. I believe Grammy is now her favorite title. Cumberland University alum Jessica Fingston of Lebanon started working with Mary Kay Cosmetics in 2015. Previously, she was in mental health social work. I was newly married and just looking for something more. I always say Mary Kay found me. I was never a super girly girl, but here we are. Fast forward to present day, where she is independent sales director Fingston, earning the Mary Kay Malibu career car, and has grown her business over the years. The most rewarding part of my Mary Kay business, she says, is empowering women. By making them feel beautiful on the outside, they feel more confident, and it raises their self-esteem on the inside. Mary Kay always said that one woman can. I pray that I'm the one woman that can make a difference in people and make them feel important. She and her husband, Jonathan, met when they were both students at Lebanon High School. They had yearbook class together. Although we never dated in high school, fate brought us together years later, and they celebrate their 7th wedding anniversary in November with their 2 children, Kamala and Carter. Jessica Schaefer and her bestie are the minds behind the blog 2 Tall Moms. We wanted a place for women, and more specifically, moms, to come together. We wanted to be their go-to, she said. Second, because we love this community and we felt like Wilson County needed a platform to promote all of the local shops and happenings and their owners. Schaefer, originally from Orlando, Florida, is a devoted wife and mother. Her husband, Kyle, co-owns Town Square Social Restaurant on the Lebanon Square. The couple met while working downtown and are parents to Finley and Hayes. Schaefer enjoys being with family and friends and watching football, and is a member of Emmanuel Baptist Church in Lebanon. She named a lot of women she admires: her mom, her stepmom, her mother-in-law, and her girlfriends that are moms, the random moms that I pass in stores holding one baby, pushing another, and just getting it all done. The moms that seem to have it all together, and the ones that openly admit they don't. The women that hope and pray every night to be a mom. I feel honored to have so many of them surrounding me, teaching me, guiding, and supporting me. Macy Wilkerson Munoz owns Salon Revive in Lebanon and says much of her inspiration comes from her mama, veteran cosmetologist Christy Wilkerson. My mom's the hardest worker I know. Being a hairstylist is a very rewarding job, but very hard. Standing hours on end, day after day. My mom did it for 28 years. I've learned so much from her. Not only techniques about hair and cut and color, but how important it is to build a lasting relationship with clients. My mom's had the same clients for her entire life, and that speaks for itself. Munoz was raised in Mount Juliet, graduated from Friendship Christian, and attended the Paul Mitchell School in Murfreesboro. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a cosmetologist. From the very beginning of my career, my end goal was to open my own salon. So in 2020, she and her husband Josh started the build-out for Salon Revive. COVID delayed the opening. They finally opened in May 6th of that year. She and Josh, who she calls a jack of all trades and owns his own plumbing business, met through mutual friends and have been married since 2019. They have a French bulldog named Rowdy. Opening her own salon and the people it's brought into her life has been one of the best decisions of her life, she says. We'll be back with more of Woman of Wilson, but first, let's learn what Vanderbilt Wilson County is doing specifically for the women in our community who face the secret trauma of domestic violence. Having a trauma center with people trained to spot and to help is so important to Wilson County.
Unfortunately, being a trauma center, a lot of times we see patients who are the victims of assault, and unfortunately a lot of times that assault is because of domestic partner violence. And so while all hospitals are cognizant of domestic violence, trauma centers really have a focus to ensure that patients who may have undergone or be victims of domestic violence have safe discharges. And so we have caseworkers and social managers who are specifically here to help with victims of domestic violence. And so it's, again, an added benefit for the community and that unfortunate patient population to have a trauma center here. The other thing is being a trauma center and having access to OB center here at this hospital. That's the other sort of unique trauma patient population is pregnant females or pregnant trauma patients. And so their physiology is so different since they're pregnant, and having a trauma surgeon who has been trained to deal with some of those changes is valuable in taking care of those patients.
Hello, women of Wilson. Gina Stradley here. On behalf of all of us at Sammy B's, I want to commend you for your hard work, dedication, and exceptional fabulousness. Remember to stay strong, always be kind, and dine at Sammy B's at least once a week. As a former woman of Wilson myself, I adore you, I celebrate you, and I salute you.
10 years ago, it's been almost 10 years ago since I opened the doors to Beauty Boutique. And honestly, I'm not for sure that I had a vision. I was much younger, and I just knew that Lebanon needed something a little bit different. And so the concept of having a salon, a spa, and clothing all in one place, it could be a one-stop shop. And it really involved itself. Our clients really developed more of the concept than I think I did. We grew with our clients and our clientele, and over the years, I shop for our specific clients. When I go to market, I envision who will wear our clothing, who will love the skincare and so forth. And so that's really and truly how we've evolved over the past 10 years.
And now we return to the shining stars of Wilson County, Woman of Wilson, brought to you by the Wilson Post and Vanderbilt Wilson County. After marrying the love of her life, Melanie Maggard moved to Wilson County, but she was raised in Orlando, Florida, where her father was one of the engineers who helped build Disney World. They moved to Murfreesboro when she was only 4, and that became home until she married Tommy 9 years ago. She's an employee of Beauty Boutique. But for the last 15 years, she's worked on site at the Nissan plant in Smyrna as an executive assistant, and she's transitioning now to a new chapter at Beauty Boutique, where she's gotten to know so many people. She attends Journey Church, loves Pilates at Sports Village Fitness, and family game night with her bonus family of Ethan, Nicholas, and Ella. The woman she admires most is her mother. Her mother was a very strong, resilient person who always put the needs of others and her children before her own. She taught us to love unconditionally and to love God with all your heart. We all strive to be like someone, and I hope to be half the person my mother was. Consuela Powers moved to Wilson County 19 years ago to attend Cumberland University. Originally from Columbia, Tennessee, she went on to complete graduate school at Walden University. Today, she's a nurse practitioner at Zion Wellness and Medical Center in Lebanon. She's worked there since last April and said the best part of her job is helping people in the community. She is mother to one child, Benjamin Crook. She enjoys shopping, spending time with friends and family, reading, hiking, and of course watching those Hallmark movies. 'Tis the season. She worships at Joy Church in Mount Juliet and is a professional member of AANP and National Honor Society. She looks up to Dolly Parton, thinking that she's a classy woman who's never forgotten where she came from and always gives back to her community at every opportunity. And her mother is the most influential lady in her life. I admire her for her passion as a parent and her caring nature. I hope that I can emulate both women in my life. Sheena Dodson's worked in Wilson County at the clerk's office, Jim Goodall's office, for 8 years and says her co-workers are the best part of her job. They're my best friends. I've never worked somewhere where it's truly like a big family. I don't know what I would do without them. She's a wife and mother of 2, and in her spare time, she helps the homeless. 7 years ago, my husband Chris asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I was afraid to tell him. I thought he would think I was crazy. I looked at him and said, God told me we need to start feeding the homeless. Well, this December marks the 7th anniversary of starting Matthew 25:35 International. I'll never forget it. We had 2 banana boxes with ham sandwiches and Ziplocs of Lay's chips. We served out of a pickup truck that we borrowed from my father-in-law. Over the years, because of generous donations, we serve hot food now. We had a local company donate a big truck that we now serve out of. It's an absolute dream come true. They provide clothes, shoes, socks, undergarments, and blankets when it loads up every weekend and takes its outreach to Nashville. The Lord's blessed us over the years with people who've helped us build a website. They set up our Venmo and PayPal for donations, and the woman she admires most is her mom, Dina Forkham. I started feeding the homeless with my mom and dad when I was in middle school. We went to Nashville 4 nights a week. I'd come home and she'd be cooking for the homeless. She always makes everything so special and so good. Everything she does it with love and compassion. Laurie DeChico called her role as kids ministry director at Journey Church a blessing. I love what I get to do every day. To be used by God in the children's lives, helping them find Christ and have a relationship with Him, connecting with their parents, that is a blessing. She co-owns Action Awnings and Signs with her husband and has attended the Journey since the fall of 2008. The following year, she began to serve in the kids ministry and then, as a volunteer, then working at the sign shop, running 2 restaurants, DeChico's Pizza and Frank's and Patty's, she said, I love the structure. I saw the need for both the kids who came to children's classes and for other volunteers serving the families attending our church services. So I just jumped in and started leading. She was named director in March of 2017. She's originally from Illinois, but her move to Tennessee came when a job transfer happened for her husband, Jim. They were former high school sweethearts, married since '86. They relocated to Lebanon with her youngest brother, who they raised, and 2 small children in 1994. We have 4 adult children and 5 granddaughters. Our world, she says. The woman she most admires is Anne Frank, who showed strength even though she had fears, whether they were known to her or not. I want to be a woman known for strength, loving but not compromising in this ever-changing world. Diane Hahn earned college degrees in healthcare but's worked as a babysitter for the last 30 years. She's from Lebanon, attended Lebanon High School before going to Vol State and Middle Tennessee State University. After having children, she decided to stay home and babysit to supplement her income. I now babysit children of the children I once watched. I count it as a true gift from God. She explained that one of the reasons she loves watching children is because she gets to set a foundation of love and faith for each of those in her care. Once they're grown, they all become part of my family, she shared. I also get to spend the day with most of my grandchildren. She's a member of Watertown Church of God of Prophecy, where her husband David is the pastor. They have 4 children. Hahn enjoys reading, thrifting, and traveling, and she names Rebecca Moss as the woman she admires most. She maintains a great family, owns her own business, and is a very active member of her church and community. Attorney Trevina Holden opened Holden Law Office and specialized in elder law back in 2008. She spent her childhood in Lebanon and Pontiac, Michigan, and decided on a career path at 8 years old. I've always liked to advocate for people. I guess I always wanted to fix everyone's problems my entire life. She attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. and North Carolina Central University School of Law. She recalled a phone call earlier in her career that made her believe practicing elder law was her purpose. A man reached out to her in distress. His mother was a resident at McKendree Village, and he had been paying all her bills, including a condo mortgage that she had in Memphis. Because of her funds that went to pay for her care in the nursing home, he was financially exhausted and attempted to sell her home with his general power of attorney. The underwriter wouldn't accept it because his mother was incapacitated and the power of attorney was void. Well, Holden stepped in. The second situation was with her own father, who fell ill and stayed in the hospital for 52 days before being diagnosed with colon cancer. His request was to die at home and not go into a nursing facility. She was overwhelmed with all of the jobs of Medicare, Social Security, pensions, and stuff like that, and she thought, if I'm having this problem, I bet others are too. I love what I do. She's been married to her husband Larry for almost 28 years. They worship at Mount Zion Baptist Church. They have 2 adult children. Mary Bauer hasn't lived in Wilson County very long, but the library assistant said she's exploring the area. At the Franklin County Library where she works, she loves seeing young people checking out books. They get excited about coming to the library, and it's my wish that the experience in this small library leads to a lifelong love of reading, and the exposure of literature might produce a best-selling author in the future. She grew up outside Huntsville in a tiny little town. She's the mother of 2 adult children, one at Tulane Medical School, the other an RN in intensive care at Daytona. She is also grandmother to 4. She was married 42 years, and her husband passed away in 2017 after being diagnosed with brain cancer. I'm not currently the member of any clubs or churches locally, but I would appreciate any suggestions, she said. The person she admires most is her mother, who is now 84. She bore 5 children, losing 2 at birth. She raised 3 girls with patience and understanding. A stay-at-home mom. We didn't have a lot of money, but we were the best-dressed girls at school because my mom made all our clothes. When her father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, Bauer's mom took care of him. She still cooks and drives and does her shopping, and I will never be as strong as she is, but it is a goal I work on every day. Lebanon resident Shelby Huddle met her now husband Tyler one night at Summit Medical Center. She was working as a nurse when Tyler, who works with Wilson County Emergency Management Agency as a firefighter EMT, brought in a patient, and we just hit it off. Huddle now works as the assistant nurse manager at the emergency department at the VA in downtown Nashville. She's a graduate of Goodpasture Christian School and completed nursing school at Lipscomb. I absolutely love being able to take care of our veterans. I feel so honored and blessed to be able to take care of those who fought for our country. The Huddles have a golden retriever named Frazier. They attend church services at Grace Place in Hermitage, and the person she admires most is her mom. She's the most selfless, giving, and loving person, devoting much of her time to helping others and never minds lending a hand to anyone who needs it. I hope to be half the woman she is one day. Amanda Burleson works as an LPN and nurse manager at Cumberland Pediatrics for Dr. Charles A. Jordan, where she's been for the past 7 years. The best part of my job is the bond I have with my patients and their parents. Being a pediatric nurse is one of the most rewarding jobs, where I'm able to provide peace of mind to a new mama, loving on all the babies, racing big kids down the hallways, and even talking to teens like they're my own. She was born in Sanford, Florida, but moved to Lebanon at age 8. She graduated from Lebanon High School and calls this community home. She's proud mom of a teenage daughter and a toddler son. She says it's the best of both worlds. She enjoys shopping on Amazon and joked, if this is a hobby, it's sure not a good one to have. She's a member of Pickett Rucker Church. The woman Burleson said she most admires is her mother, the strongest woman I know. I'm forever grateful for her showing me how to be the same. I've seen her overcome so many obstacles, and she always comes out on top. Valerie Doris has beautified the ladies and gents in Wilson County for over 2 decades. She's originally from Watertown and is a stylist at Looker Salon and Spa in Lebanon. Her decision to pursue a career in cosmetology was an easy one. It was either hair or an astronaut. I don't like heights, so I picked hair, she jokes. She explains that her job is very rewarding. My favorite part is when a young girl comes in and you can tell she's not part of the in crowd, maybe having a hard time, and you turn her around to see her new hair and she gets this little smile on her face, and it just melts my soul. I love making people feel good. Doris and her longtime boyfriend, Zeb Douglas, have been together for 8 years. They've known each other a lot longer, but started dating after seeing each other across the room at a New Year's Eve party. Their blended family includes her son, his daughters, and his granddaughter, Brooklyn. Doris attends church in Alexandria at Jesus Loves Me. One of her favorite places to visit when she isn't working is Tunica, Mississippi. She named her parents, both of them, Paul and Brenda, as people she greatly admires. They taught me to be humble and to help people when you can, and give even when you can't. I've seen them give the shirt off their back when they didn't have a shirt to give. Karen Bingham is an elementary school librarian in Wilson County. She earned her bachelor's degree from Brigham Young and a master's degree from Simmons University, where there are so many things she loves about her job. The small rewards that come every day from interacting with my students and seeing them grow from K through 5th grade. She's originally from Missoula, Montana, but love brought her to Wilson County. She met her now husband through his brother while living in Massachusetts. She was in a play that my husband's brother wrote, and eventually he and his wife decided I really needed to meet his brother. After a brief introduction via email, they corresponded for 6 weeks, visited twice, and eloped to the Wilson County Courthouse 3 months after that first introduction. They were married by a judge wearing a New York Yankees ring. The Red Sox and Yankees are arch rivals. Having lived in Massachusetts for almost 7 years, I'm a die-hard Red Sox fan. So I asked the judge if he would be willing to take off his ring in order to marry us. To his credit, he started taking it off and said, "Well, it's your wedding." They attend the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Lebanon, and together they have 5 children and 2 granddaughters. She admires her mother the most, who is 83 and still active mentally and physically. Something that is perhaps the most impressive to me is her choice to never get offended by other people's actions or words. She decided a long time ago it was a tremendous waste of time and energy to get offended, even if someone was trying to offend you. I try to remember that. Allison Cox is a hometown girl. This busy wife and mother of 3 was born and raised in Lebanon and an alumni of Lebanon High School. She married her high school sweetheart, Andy, and they will celebrate their 17th anniversary this year. I met Andy on the Lebanon Square, and our first date was the Wilson County Fair, she recalls. My husband shares my Blue Devil pride. I am so blessed that he is a wonderful husband, father, and provider. Andy owns Cox Gutters, and Allison is a full-time stay-at-home mother, and their family includes their daughter Maddie Jo and Maverick, 8, and Towns, 3. Our children are by far our greatest adventure and accomplishment. She has worked as a dental assistant and a photographer, and photography still remains one of her passions. Watching her children succeed through teamwork and overcoming personal goals brings me so much joy. And faith is also important to Cox. Her family worships at Emmanuel Baptist, where they have been members for a decade. I admire my mom's work ethic. She lost her parents at a very young age and was forced to grow up quickly and take care of herself. She named her grandmother Nelda Sellers, who was married to her grandfather for over 50 years and raised 7 kids, and always remained strong in her faith, making time to serve others. She made a difference in so many lives, and that's what I hope to accomplish with my life. We'll be back with more of Woman of Wilson. But first, we'll talk about some of the important things going on and why a trauma center in Wilson County is so important. Traumatic brain injury or stroke or things like that, are you able to stabilize a patient here and make them safer to travel downtown?
One of the benefits of being a trauma center is that you are able to stabilize that patient. Your staff and your physicians have the skill and the ability and the resources to work through what's called a trauma resuscitation within that golden hour, and get things squared away, and either make the determination that the patient can stay here or be transferred downtown for that higher level of care.
I think celebrating women is incredible. We probably don't celebrate ourselves enough and give ourselves enough credit for what we do and how we do it. I love the fact that a woman is chosen each week and we talk about her strengths. I love the fact that many women have shared things in Women of Wilson that maybe they've not even shared before. We need to celebrate each other more often. What we do as mothers and wives and in the workplace, God gave us a lot of really good strength, and I mean, it's contagious. And so it's just a positive thing, and I love positivity, and I love celebrating women.
At the end of this school year, Carol Farrell will retire from education. She currently teaches at Watertown Elementary, Watertown Middle, and Southside schools. Closing her career started 32 years ago. She recalled being a student in Olivia C.'s class in kindergarten at Watertown Elementary. I just knew I had to be a teacher and spent most days teaching my dolls. She obtained her undergrad degree from MTSU and her master's and education specialist degrees from Tennessee Tech. She started teaching special ed at Mount Juliet. Then she taught SEEK, gifted education, for 2 years and moved to 5th grade at Stoner Creek. I just love every day when students get it and see the light bulb come on. But it's especially rewarding to be out in town and young adults walk up and ask if I remember them from years back. I love it when they start telling stories to their kids about being in my class. Farrell and her husband Ronnie have been married since 1989. They attend Crossroads Church in Lebanon, where she serves on the guest services team and leads a women's community. She also volunteers with Compassionate Hands and looks forward to getting more involved in both after retirement. Lisa O'Gwen is a mortgage banker with American Mortgage Service Company. She's been a mortgage banker for 23 years, with the pleasure of assisting people with obtaining the dream of home ownership. She said that she and her husband Byram have been married for 25 years. They met one summer evening while she was visiting the Lebanon Square Dance. My mother, aunts, and grandmother love to dance, and I would occasionally go out and spend time with them and some other friends that love to dance. She's from Possum Town. They have 3 children and a niece, Kirsten Roberts. They're members of Emmanuel Baptist Church in Lebanon. I'm also a member of the core networking group of BNI, and I also get to be part of the best class ever for Leadership Wilson 2022. O'Gwen is an alumna of Lebanon High School and says she enjoys traveling, boating, and being with her family. Nurse practitioner Christine Cowell has been named Clinical Director of Fast Pace Health in Watertown. She's been a nurse practitioner for a decade, joining the Fast Pace team in 2021. The best part of my job is taking the time to listen and understand why patients need to see me. I find it important that my patients know their medications and what they are supposed to do. Cowell grew up in Michigan and attended Madonna University, where she received her Bachelor of Science in Nursing. She obtained her Master's at TSU. In 1997, Cowell and her now husband Thomas moved to Tennessee. He is a general physician at Lebanon General Practice. They've been married for 23 years and have 2 children. Cowell said that Christian, her son, is studying business at Cumberland University, and her daughter Faith is studying health sciences at Ball State. They also have pets, Minnie, Lacey, and Kitty. Cowell enjoys traveling, listening to music, binging on Netflix, and being with her family. And she admires her mother. Ooh, she was a spitfire when I was growing up, always working and always climbing up the ranks. She and my father are retired nurses. She was a great cook and loved to laugh. Everyone around her enjoys her company, and I always love to see her smile. Social worker Ashley Jordan serves as the Graduate On-Time Facilitator at Lebanon High, a position she's held since 2015. I work with students who failed at least one graduation-required course and are at risk of not graduating from high school. I help them get back on track so they can graduate with their class. She is a 1998 graduate of Lebanon High, earned her bachelor's and master's degrees in social work from UT Knoxville. I lived in Knoxville for 12 years and began my career in clinical social work. Still, Wilson County was close to Jordan's heart. It's where her parents, Randall and Peggy Clemens, and older brother Michael reside. She was excited for the opportunity to come home in 2010 after landing her dream job of being a social worker in Wilson County schools. My work with seniors is probably the most gratifying when they recover their high school credit and realize they're going to earn their high school diploma. Several of my students are the first in their families to graduate, so it is a major celebration. I'm always amazed by their ability to overcome adversity and childhood trauma that they've fallen victim to. She enjoys traveling, spending time with her son and family, being outdoors, and interior design. Nancy Mullis retired in 2018 after working as an educational assistant at Byers Dowdy Elementary for more than 20 years. I've always loved kids and dreamed of being a teacher. My life didn't take me in that direction at first. She taught children's Bible classes at Highland Heights Church of Christ and coached an 8-under girls softball team at the LGSA from 94 to 99. When her youngest daughter began kindergarten in 97, a job became open at Byers Dowdy as a part-time library aide. She began working there in January of 98, and her job just transformed throughout the years. When she made the decision to leave her career, it was to allot more time to care for her parents. And at the time, her husband's declining health required her to transport him to and from many doctor's appointments and care for him at home. Her husband, Lonnie Arthur Mullis, Jr., passed away July 2nd in 21 from pancreatic cancer. They would have celebrated their 41st anniversary on October 10th. Their family includes children, Lisa Mullis, a kindergarten teacher at Byers Dowdy, Amy Mullis, a patient care tech at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, Anna Reeves, a second-grade teacher at Jones Brummett Elementary, and Mark Reeves at Wilson Bank and Trust in Lebanon. And their grandchildren, Ayla Reeves, 11, Knox Rhodes, Berkeley Rhodes, Ledger Reeves, and Archer Reeves. Mullis has been a member of Highland Heights Church of Christ since 1981. Christy Sapp's an algebra teacher at Gladeville Middle. She grew up in Mount Juliet and Lebanon, and the best part of her job is teaching students to develop a lifelong love of math. I love watching their eyes light up when they understand a really tough skill or when they make connections to difficult concepts. My students are my why. They're the reason I go to work every day and the reason I have the best job anyone could ask for. She graduated from Lebanon High School and Middle Tennessee State University. In May, she'll graduate again with a master's in educational leadership. She's married to Tim Sapp, and the two met at Buffalo Wild Wings while watching a University of Tennessee football game. She and her friend Alicia noticed he was alone. Well, Alicia and I decided to make an introduction, and I knew it was love when he used semicolons in his text messages. Their family includes Sam, Hannah, Riley, and Dean, and she also has a 10-month-old grandson named Joey. They have a golden doodle named Daisy, and she loves hanging out with her family, especially that grandbaby Joey. Registered nurse Cherie Hanna is originally from London, Ontario, Canada, but now calls Wilson County her home. Her family moved to Mount Juliet for the wonderful schools. Hannah's crew includes her husband of 18 years, Greg, and daughters, Sailor and Haley, and their Jack Russell named Crazy Carl. Hannah earned her nursing degree from St. Clair College in Windsor. For the past 17 years, she's been an RN at Women and Children's Hospital, Centennial Medical Center. However, she currently works from home as a utilization clinical reviewer for Evacor Cigna. The most rewarding part of nursing has been helping others through the most wonderful time of their lives, bringing babies into the world. And now I'm able to continue helping with guiding them to the right treatment for their needs. They also attend church at Providence Methodist. Gail White's been employed by TRW in Lebanon for over 40 years. She started with the company back in 1976. The best part of her job? Talking and working with customers and traveling to different locations. She's married to James White, and they have 3 children. She enjoys walking, traveling, and working at her church, Heavens View Baptist. She was a member of Leadership Wilson class of 2015. She named Bishop Belita McMurray Fight as one of the ladies she admires most, along with her children, some dear cousins, and friends. They were all there for me when I needed them. I can call them anytime, day or night. Megan Gravens works as a deputy clerk for the Wilson County Clerk's Office. Born and raised in Lebanon, Gravens said the best part of her job is working with great people. They aren't just my co-workers or friends, they're more like my family. She and her husband Dusty have been together since high school. You know, when we were in high school, everyone used to hang out in the Big Lots parking lot. He was with several people I knew, so I hopped in his truck with him, and we've been together ever since. They have 3 children, Madden, Jax, and Jace. Bethany House and her husband Ryan were made for each other, equally yoked in every way, and we chase God together, causing both of us to reap heavenly benefits. The couple owns Cumberland Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. She explained that she used to work as an electrical and optical engineer. However, after having her last child and going through biblical counseling at Rock House Center, she changed her path. God called me away from that. Now the couple works with the All for Him ministry, which provides meals in Lebanon and Nashville. The food is a perishable cover-up to give our friends something that is imperishable from heaven and can never be taken from them: love and freedom. They work in recovery with a Christ-based program called We Do Recover. We serve beautiful men and women, assisting with their transformation into who God made them to be. House is able to homeschool her younger children. They have a 23-year-old son as well, who's married to Patricia, 6-year-old Layla, and 4-year-old Hudson. She has 2 grandbabies too, Rayleigh and Luna. I'm beyond blessed to still have my grandmothers and mom. They have all shown me how to be a great Christian, mother, wife, friend, and caretaker. Lebanon native and resident Lisa Carver recently obtained her real estate license so she can assist her son Brandon in the Carver Group, Nashville Real Estate Experts. Real estate's giving me the opportunity to work with my son, as well as make people happy. Many folks recognize Carver from Carver's Family Fun Center, the skating rink that she owned and operated in the 90s and early 2000s. She also works part-time for probate court and has an in-home monogramming business called Yellow Ribbon House of Monograms. She's passionate about all of these roles because she loves working with others and enjoys making people happy. She's been married for 39 years. She met her husband Johnny 42 years ago at Joanne's Ideal Cafe, a spot she went every morning before work at Baird & Hagen Attorneys at Law. Johnny was eating lunch when I came in on one of those days. He asked the owner who I was and how to contact me. She gave him the office number. He called me, and we had our first date soon after. Johnny was an entertainer, and the young couple traveled all over the country in a bus with his band. Now, you can still hear a little music from him. Carver Class of Music is where he teaches guitar and voice at their church. They have 2 cats, Coco and Blue, and they attend Bethlehem United Methodist Church, where they have been for 20 years. We'll be back with more of Woman of Wilson, brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital.
You know, trauma patients is one of the reasons that I went into trauma surgery was that they're very complex, and it's not just one organ system that gets affected. It's a multitude. You have a patient who's a victim of a high-speed rollover motor vehicle crash. They may have broken ribs, they may have some small bowel injury, they may have like a broken pelvis. Again, multiple organ systems that are going to be traumatically injured, and that means that you need multiple subspecialists to be able to care for them, and you need multiple resources within that hospital to be able to appropriately care for them. So, you know, things like increasing the amount of blood that we have in our blood bank. We used to only have a very small amount of blood here, and when we established a trauma center, we said that's not going to be sufficient, and so we've worked with our blood providers to significantly increase the amount of blood products that we have available in this hospital. You look at things like ability or access to our operating room. We now have anesthesiologists in-house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if I need to go to the operating room, I pick up the phone, I schedule that case, and we can be in the OR within 30 minutes because the anesthesiologist is already here in-house and ready to go. You look at things like our radiologists, our intensive care unit. A lot of these areas are actually staffed by physicians who are actually work downtown as well. And in fact, a lot of my trauma surgeons that take call also take call downtown. So Wilson County is getting the benefit of having access to physicians and subspecialists who are at a world-renowned trauma center in terms of downtown, but having it done right here in Wilson County.
Macy Gaines is a wife and mother originally from Carthage and works as a loan servicing clerk at Wilson Bank and Trust. She and her husband Brian have been married for 26 years. Our families were close, so we literally knew each other all our lives. They have 2 adult children, and they worship at Pickett Rucker United Methodist Church in Lebanon. Gaines enjoys traveling with her husband and spending time with her family, and the woman she admires most is her mother, Irene Dirksen. My father has Parkinson's and dementia. She has shown such strength both mentally and physically. Even when she isn't feeling well, she never gives up. She is truly a blessing to me and so many others. Educator Jennifer Fry has been with Wilson County Schools for nearly 30 years. Fryer earned a bachelor's degree in elementary ed at Tennessee Tech in '92 and spent 22 years as a 4th grade teacher at Southside Elementary. I love getting to work with multiple generations of students. Her husband Chris is an educator as well as a basketball coach. The couple, who both graduated from Mount Juliet High, met through a mutual friend back in 1987. He had the biggest smile and the friendliest brown eyes and had me at, "Hey, how are you doing?" We dated my senior year through our college years and eloped in December of 1991, right after Chris graduated from MTSU. Here we are, 30 years later, and we've spent our whole lives raising a family and teaching in Wilson County schools. They have 3 sons. When she isn't working, she loves being with her grandchildren, working in the garden, and reading. She's a member of Emmanuel Baptist Church in Lebanon. The woman she admires most is her longtime guidance counselor, Linda Crutcher. Kara Fitzgerald has spent the last 11 years of her career working for the Tennessee Society of Certified Public Accountants. In April of 2021, she was named president and CEO of that organization. With 10,000 members, I have the honor of getting to work with some of the best and brightest CPAs across the state, she says. Another extremely rewarding part of my job is getting to share information about the CPA profession with students. Whether I'm talking to middle school, high school, or college, I love being able to share the opportunities that a career in accounting can provide and dispel some of the stereotypes. Fitzgerald is a Mount Juliet High School alumna and attended Tennessee Tech. She lives in Mount Juliet with her husband of 21 years, Kevin, and their family. My husband is a former collegiate strength and conditioning coach, which brought him to Nashville to coach at Vanderbilt. They have 2 children who attend Mount Juliet High and an English bulldog named Winnie. Rachel McHenry has worked as a family nurse practitioner for 22 years. The 1993 graduate of Lebanon High School said the best part of her job is helping others achieve success with their health issues. She married Nathan McHenry, a fellow Lebanon High School grad, in October of 2004. We went to high school together but reconnected after I moved back to Lebanon after graduating school in 1999. They have 1 daughter and 2 pets, a cat named Tessie and a rescue dog named Archie. They attend Emmanuel Baptist Church. Nathan and I were married there, and our daughter was baptized there. Last year, Maddie Smith graduated from Friendship Christian School in Lebanon in the top 10 of her class, ready to take on the world. Today, she's entering her 2nd year of college at Harding University in Searcy, Arkansas, majoring in exercise science with a pre-med concentration and a minor in Spanish. My goal is to attend medical school, noting her plans could always change. For the summer months, she comes back home to Wilson County and works for Kona Ice. She's been working there since she was 15 and has enjoyed every second. Before graduating high school, Smith was presented with a Governor's Volunteer Star Award for Wilson County for accumulating over 200 service hours. She was a member of the leadership class at FCS, an invitation-only class which focuses on mission work for the underprivileged. She's also served meals to the homeless downtown. She enjoys being with her friends, reading, and watching movies. She's also a member of College Hills Church of Christ. Sydney Steverson will soon celebrate her 6th anniversary at Cedars Prep Academy in Lebanon. Steverson previously served as the school's extended care director, and this year, upcoming, will step back into the classroom as the third grade teacher. She's originally from Lebanon and graduated from Wilson Central High School and obtained her undergrad degree from Cumberland. She is currently working on her Master of Arts in teaching at Cumberland. I also enjoy spending time with my family and continuing to make memories with them. She's a lifelong member of Pickett Rucker United Methodist Church and names her mother, Tracy Steverson, as one of the women she admires most. Holly Ashley is quite accomplished but gives all the credit to God. Born and raised in Arizona, Ashley graduated from Grand Canyon University with a bachelor's degree in psychology and also holds a master's degree in forensic psychology. Today she works as the vice president and executive director of Cross Strength Ministries, where she focuses on the domestic violence ministry. She shared the most rewarding part of her work is helping others discover redemption through the blood of Jesus Christ, whereby they are restored to a right relationship with God. That's where recovery begins. Ashley is married to the pastor of Pump, David Ashley. My husband is an ordained pastor but holds no pulpit. David holds an MA in apologetics and Master of Divinity. He's a street preacher and an evangelist. We're devout Christians, although we hold no membership at a church. We've been visiting many in the area. Currently, that would be Music City. Their path to marriage wasn't simple. The couple met 3 decades ago in their 20s when his best friend was dating her best friend. Their first meeting was at a volleyball game and they got engaged 3 years later. However, things didn't go according to plan. Through God's redemptive grace, he crossed our paths 10 years ago, and I prayed for another opportunity and promised not to blow it, she said. It was granted. Ashley has 2 children and 1 granddaughter. Longtime educator Rebecca Gwen Dixon is no stranger to helping others. In the 15 years she worked with Lebanon Special School District teaching at Walter J. Baird and Winfrey Bryant, Gwen Dixon touched many lives. However, she was eventually called to ministry. I left Winfrey Bryant to work at Lebanon First United Methodist as the Director of Children's and Family Ministries. During this time, I felt led to begin the process of becoming a minister. For the past 6 years, while working with the families and children at our church, I also graduated from Vanderbilt Divinity School, and I just recently have become commissioned as a deacon in the United Methodist Church. She now serves as pastor of outreach and pastoral care. In this role, I will work to connect our church and its members with our community. We'll work to offer the light and love of Christ and build relationships. Another role of my position is pastoral care, offering care to those who need prayer and support. I look forward to building relationships and going out into our community to serve in a variety of ways and just loving people. She's a native of Lebanon and holds a degree in elementary ed from Cumberland, where she helped to start a chapter of Alpha Omicron Pi sorority. She's married to David Dixon and has 2 children. Hortense Love was born and raised in Lebanon and attended Market Street Elementary. After graduating from Wilson County High School at 17, she was presented with an exciting athletic opportunity. An owner of a women's professional basketball team asked if she and Johnny Jennings would come play for a team he was starting called the Harlem Queens, much like the famed Harlem Globetrotters. Our parents agreed to let us go. We traveled to about 11 different states and played against men's civic organizations, Air Force bases, and other travel teams. Though short-lived, it was an experience we will remember for the rest of our lives. Love was a longtime employee at Nissan. After retiring, she went to school at the Tennessee Technology Center in Murfreesboro. She graduated in 2004 and was a member of the National Honor Society. In 2005, she went back to work at the school's bookstore and currently works at the bookstore at Motlow College in Smyrna. Love's a lifelong member of Pickett Rucker United Methodist Church, where she serves as a choir member, trustee, member of the United Methodist Women and the Older Adult Ministry. She and her husband, Exxon L. Love, have been married 47 years and have 6 children, 14 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. Courtney Grimes was born and raised in Nashville. However, she fell in love with Wilson County's sense of community in 2018. She works as senior underwriting assistant at Sompo International in Mount Juliet. After moving to Mount Juliet, I made a career change after 12 years with one company. Changing industries felt like starting over, but luckily, I joined a team that's evolving and growing, and I'm enjoying the process. She and her husband Sean will celebrate their 11th wedding anniversary this October. Sean and I went to the same high school where he was a senior my freshman year. We knew one another, but were just acquaintances. Fast forward 10 years, we reconnected on social media. I had just purchased my first home and had several projects underway, and he offered to help and showed up ready to paint. We've been together ever since. They have 2 children. Grimes loves playing softball, a sport she's enjoyed for almost 25 years. And she also enjoys flag football, a sport that gets her moving. When I'm not outside, I like to do projects around my house, updating furniture, remodeling the house, or putting a stamp on it. I like to expand my skills. Donna Ogilvy says she enjoys her work as a mammography technologist at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital because it allows her to care for others. One of my most prized possessions is a small card I received from a patient over 25 years ago. It said, "Just a little thanks for saving my life." I carry that card in my wallet every day as a reminder of what I do. Ogilvy explains that when it comes to breast cancer, the earlier it's diagnosed, the more treatable. Many women think they don't need to have yearly mammograms if no one in their families had breast cancer. Truth is, according to the American College of Radiology, 3 out of 4 women diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history and are not considered high risk. She attended Middle Tennessee State University and then graduated from Madison Hospital's School of Radiologic Technology. She and her husband George have been married 40 years. Their family includes a daughter, a son, and 4 grandchildren. Jennifer Ankney was recently named principal of Wilson Central High School after serving as an assistant principal for the past 4 years. The promotion will allow her to continue the calling that led her to enter the field of education in the first place, helping others reach their potential. She's originally from Oxford, Pennsylvania, and thought she might become a journalist. However, during college, she changed her mind and her major because of her love for learning and children. I can remember making my little brother be my student and pretending to be his teacher. I used our bedroom door as the chalkboard. Today, she holds a bachelor's degree in pre-K through 6 elementary education from Penn State, a K-12 special education endorsement from MTSU, a master's degree, educational specialist degree, and a doctorate from Carson Newman University. She taught preschool special ed in Virginia for 2 years and at Smith County Middle School for 3 years. She moved to Wilson County Schools, teaching at Mount Juliet Middle School for 3 years and serving as an instructional coach for 2 years at West Wilson Middle and Carroll Oakland and Tucker's Crossroads. During her time as assistant principal at Wilson Central, she enjoyed being mentor for the senior class. I was able to build relationships and help kids graduate and move to the next chapter of their lives. She and her husband Jerry have been married for 11 years. They connected through their love of bluegrass music, and they have 2 children. I love watching my boys play travel baseball. When I'm not at Wilson County High School events, I'm likely at a baseball field. Stay tuned. The moment you've been waiting for is coming right up. The winner of Woman of Wilson. Brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital in Lebanon.
When Vanderbilt purchased this hospital, they understood that there was a strong sense of community associated with this hospital, and they didn't want to take that away. You know, a lot of times at a big academic center, you kind of lose that community sense of well-being, and so they have made every sort of effort to make sure that that is present at Wilson County. But it's been very, very exciting for the hospital. It's been a goal for Vanderbilt as well as Wilson County Hospital to bring a trauma center out here. We are now the easternmost trauma center in Middle Tennessee. Wilson County has never had a trauma center before, and so there's a lot of firsts associated with this certification. And you know, it's important that we're bringing this quality of care and this level of care to the people of Wilson County and the surrounding counties. The ability to kind of stabilize these critically ill trauma patients, and if it is something that we can handle here and we don't need a neurosurgeon or a cardiac surgeon, then we can keep those patients here. If they need expanded subspecialty coverage, then those patients, because of our relationship with the downtown campus, being affiliated with Vanderbilt, can easily be transferred downtown for that subspecialty care. We've gone out and we've spoken with a lot of EMS providers in the community, WEMA, and some of these rural communities don't have the amount of ambulances that a place like Nashville Fire does, right? They may only have 1 or 2 ambulances that serve that community. And so if you take a patient and have to go all the way downtown, you're adding maybe an extra hour to 2 hours in terms of transport time, dealing with Nashville traffic and getting in and out of the downtown campus. And so if we're able to care for that patient right here in Wilson County, that means that ambulance can get back in service in that rural community in a much shorter amount of time and get on to helping the next patient that may have a problem. So from a EMS perspective, it was very, very important to open up a trauma facility or trauma hospital here in Wilson County. The other component to that is families and patients. And it's hard for families to make it all the way to downtown. Again, the traffic is bad, the price of hotels is very expensive, and the downtown campus, it's so big, so massive, it can be confusing for patients and families in terms of navigating that. And so we are basically bringing high quality trauma level care to Wilson County so that patients can stay in their own community or nearby their own homes, and families can have easy access to their loved ones while they're here in the hospital. So those are all sort of the reasons that we thought building and establishing a trauma facility at Wilson County was so important.
And the winner of the 2022 Woman of Wilson Peer Voted Awards. I need a drum roll. I need one. The winner is Callie Heatherly. Congratulations. Callie will receive dinner at Sammy B's and also a beautiful gift package from our friends at Beauty Boutique. Thank you so much for listening, share, and thank you for being such stellar women in Wilson County. And thank you most of all to our sponsor, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, with a brand new trauma division that is such a convenience and such a help and such a life-saving addition to our community.